Hello, and welcome to the College of Engineering and Technology's tutorial on understanding your major guide. Once you've completed your online orientation, which is Port 1 of PEER, you'll move on to register for your first term at ECU in Port 2 of PEER. Remember, it can take up to 24 hours for our systems to recognize that your orientation has been completed. So if you see an orientation hold on your account, try logging out, waiting for the full 24 hours, and then signing back in. In this tutorial, we will help you understand your first semester course options, which are found on your major guide in Port 2. By the end of the tutorial, you should be able to determine if your major has an eligibility requirement, identify priority classes to register for, know where to find a list of general and education class options, understand who to contact for help if needed, and be able to locate your PIN for registration. If you have not done so already, you will need to complete new student orientation first before moving on to registering for classes. If you've already completed Port 1, please click on Port 2, and let's start with registration for your first semester. Port 2 is where a lot of your registration information is contained. It is important to note that a lot of the essential information can be found by scrolling down on your screen. In the area that you can see right here, you'll be able to figure out what major you are listed as and how to check that. In the second section right here, if your major is not listed correctly, what to do with that. And then down here on the bottom is a listing of some really important things that you'll need for registration. The major course guides are located in this link. The PIN code that you will need for registration is located right here. The instructions for how to register for courses using self-service banner can be found right here, and some common registration errors and what to do if you receive them can be found right here. If you are unsure about anything or get stuck when you go to register for classes, Port 2 is a great resource to check first. Before you register for classes, it's important to know which ones you'll be signing up for. It's helpful to open your major guide in a new tab as you're going to be referring to it often. Since this is the College of Engineering and Technology tutorial, we're going to select one of our majors. So you would right-click on the by major course guides. That would open them into a new tab for you right here. This is a listing of all of the majors that you can choose here at ECU. And again, since this is a CET tutorial, we're going to pick one of ours. This time I'm going to select construction management. Please be sure that when you are registering, you are pulling up the major guide that you are intending to register for. I have selected construction management because construction management is an example of a major that has additional eligibility requirements to declare to the program. It's very important that you read the entire document before you go on to registering, because it has some important information here on the top. In order to declare directly into construction management, students must meet a math eligibility. Requirement. If you aren't sure if you're declared or intended for any of our majors, please email us your name, banner ID, and major of interest, and we would be happy to check for you. This information can be found right here at the top of your major guide. Regardless of whether or not your major has an eligibility requirement or not, all major guides are organized the same way. The first step contains a step-by-step guide on how to use our self-service banner system to register for classes. The second step will list your priority courses in your major that you should attempt to register for first. And the third step will tell you additional courses and recommendations to register for to round out your schedule. Towards the bottom of all the major course guides are some important documents if you need help. A listing of general education courses can be found here. How to determine which math course you are eligible for can be found here. Common registration errors can be found here. And if you have a question and you don't see it listed right here, you can just click here and submit a form and we will get back to you with an answer as soon as possible. Let's scroll back up to the top and see what we would do here. Okay. We were reading this guide and attempted to be a CMGT declared student. Let's assume that I had a 24 on my ACT math score. If we look at the top here, to be eligible for construction management, I need to have a minimum score of 570 SAT or a math score on my ACT of 23 or higher. And I have a 24, so I would be able to be a declared student. When I went to go register for courses, the first course that I would want to try and sign up for would be CMGT 2200. If that course was full, I would then try and sign up for CMGT 2210 and 2211. This is the class and this is the corresponding lab. And if that course was full, I would move on to CMGT 2400 and the corresponding lab of 2401 and so on. I would continue registering for courses in these hierarchy of an order here until I had a full schedule of 15 to 16 hours. You'll notice on here that there are far more than 15 to 16 hours of courses that are recommended, and you are not supposed to sign up for all of them. You are supposed to build a schedule by trying to register for these priority courses first and then working subsequently down until you have a total of 15 to 16 hours. It's really important to familiarize yourself with course options before logging onto our registration system self-service banner. If you scroll down, you'll notice in your additional classes that you'll be registering for, you'll see humanities and social science, and it says any general education humanities course. Well, how are you supposed to know what those courses are? If you go further down to searching for general education courses and you open this in a new tab, again, because you'll probably want to look at both documents at the same time, it will give you a listing of all of the courses that count as a social science course, all of the courses that count as a humanities course, and so on. You'll want to select from this list and build your schedule of 15 to 16 total credit hours. If you notice, some of them next to some of the listings, they have a GD or a DD. GD stands for Global Diversity, and DD stands for Domestic Diversity. It is a university requirement that students have one Global Diversity class and one Domestic Diversity class within their program. So if you are signing up for social science and you pick Global Understanding and it's listed as a GD course, you will be meeting both the social science requirement and the global diversity requirement. It's a good thing to be able to keep that in mind as you're going through and selecting classes. Again, we encourage you to kind of read over all of the documents. Don't just kind of stab at it in the dark as you're going to register for class. Kind of take a couple minutes and review all the courses, pick out which ones are of interest to you, read the sections on the top here. And again, anything that you would need for help can be found at the bottom. Your priority courses are listed in order from the top to the bottom here. If you are an intended student, if you don't meet that math requirement, you will register for this side and then fill out your schedule with the rest of these courses here. This tutorial was designed to help you understand your first semester course options, which is also known as your major guide and peer. You should be able to determine if your major has eligibility requirements, identify your priority classes to register for, know where to find your list of general education class options, understand who to contact if help is needed, and be able to locate your PIN for registration. Our next tutorial walks you through using self-service banner to register for your first semester. Thank you and welcome to ECU.